What's up, brothers?
What up, folks?
We are here. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, it's July. July means football starts. Training camp
That's right.
starts.
That's
So-
it. That's it.
This is when the season of football starts for me. I'm
Yup.
ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I know Thomas Costello was in the chat already talking about, is it September yet? I mean, September's nice when the season starts, but when you just see Chargers football and you could be there firsthand watching them at training camp, that's the start
It's
of the
the
season
best.
for me. That's the
It's
best.
the best. It's the best.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even looking forward to preseason. You know, that's
Me
like not
too.
even something to care about generally, but
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
guys,
when it comes to preseason, like I like to buy like the really expensive tickets to kind of explore the all you can eat section, because like yeah, you get it for
try
like
some
100
food out.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
all good. That's the real ticket right there, because during the season those tickets are like $500, but for preseason you can get it for like $100. So
Didn't Andrew and I, didn't we, when we were at that Bronco game, didn't we get some free tickets from a guy that was
Yeah,
selling tickets
we
for
did.
SoFi? And wasn't that on that same
Yeah.
like section? Because we were
Super
like,
low.
oh, sick. We're like walking through like the bar area or like the little whatever area, and I think that was like
It was
where the
sick.
free food was at.
Yeah.
But they were all closed up and ready to go by that time, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, guys, we got a good show for you. We're going to recap the videos we did on the week. Not a whole lot of news, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some things we want to talk about. Uniforms, maybe some alternate uniforms that we might be seeing this week. Maybe talk a little about Justin Herbert, our favorite topic. And so, guys, let's get into it.
Bull Bros.
We still gotta have we gotta have another one that's with all three of us though. That's the one we need.
Oh,
to get.
yeah.
We need,
All right,
we need
all right.
something, all three of
Yeah.
us.
I'll see. I'll work on that. Yeah, I'll put something there. Yeah. So-
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, by the way, guys, happy 4th of July weekend. It's really odd that 4th of July is on a Tuesday. It feels really strange
Yes.
to have that, but we
It is
are
weird.
into July. Patriot time. Let's
That's
go.
right. Oh,
wait.
you should-
Patriots. Nah, not that
Patriot time. We're talking about
yeah.
America.
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 That's right, America. The NFL time.
NFL time.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Football League, American Football League, whatever it is. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
Well,
Yeah.
let's
guys, throw out your questions as well too, right? So we're just getting started. So toss your questions out. I know we got the chat up. Obviously, Thomas is here. We got people rolling in.
Yeah.
James, you want to talk a little bit about Thule first, or should we go into Derek Ainsley? I know I did my video on the defense, and I give you guys an opportunity in the chat, an opportunity to respond to the video I did this week. So let's just talk about Derek Ainsley a little bit, and then we can talk a little bit about Thule as well. So it was interesting, my general thoughts are like I think the defense is going to be a lot better this season. I don't think Derek Ainsley is going to bring anything new, but the one thing that I will say, and I think it was Matt Money Smith talked about it on Chargers Weekly, he said, look, he's going to bring some energy on the sideline. Ronaldo Hill was kind of a stoic guy. Brandon Staley's a pretty stoic guy,
Yeah.
But Derek Ainsley's pretty fiery, right? So that's a good thing. So I'm really curious to see what leadership he offers on the sideline. That's something I didn't really discuss on the video I did, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts about the defense and, what did you think of my list? And chat, what did you think of my list as well too? Of the 5 things we need to take away or improve on this year to be a Super Bowl contender.
You want to take that one, Kyle? Start it up. Start us up.
Yeah, well, they're all great points. Because we've been terrible against the run for like years now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's really a huge thing that I feel like is always going to be a important part of the defense. Because that's how the offense controls the clock. If they can just chew up clock, it takes away our ability to score points. And if we can't stop them there, then that's a huge thing. I don't know if you actually talked about that. It slips in my mind or not, but did you talk about how our passing defense has been literally lights out though? We're top ranked in that.
Yeah.
We were, but our run defense was abysmal. But again, Brandon Staley also had to choose. I think he basically, I think it was the week 16, or maybe it was week 14. He said, "Look, we have to make a choice, right?" And I don't know that you really have to make a choice, but we had so many injuries on the defensive line.
Yeah.
couldn't really be effective, right? I mean, we had so many people out, we
Right.
could not stay healthy. So I think that really affected our success for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm going to say about our defense too, and Andrew and I, we've been watching past games from last season and everything.
too
And one
many.
thing, I,
3 times now for me, guys. 3 times now. That's bad, dude. That's bad. I'm like, get a life,
NFL
bro.
Plus, NFL Plus. Shout out to NFL Plus, man. That's awesome. It's awesome to watch rewinds of games, but replays of games. But the one thing that I've been observing a lot is the linebacker position and how Drew Tranquil and Kenneth Murray played. And we've chatted here between the Bolt Bros here just about like, man, I always feel like Kenneth Murray's like just in the wrong place, the wrong time. He's not in the right position. I feel like Drew Tranquil like overextends like his plays where he missed tackles frequently. I think he was one of the highest ranked linebackers to have missed tackles in the league.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you went out and got a guy like Eric Kendricks. Like, you got a guy that's going to be a stable or rock guy for you that could teach these players well. And that's why you ended up going out and get a Deion Hentley, because that's another guy that you just could kind of start grooming under a really, really proven veteran. So, there is that second level of the defense that really has been an issue. There was even talks on the Chargers Weekly podcast that what teams did is run directly at Kyle Van Noy a lot.
Yeah,
and it was Kyle Van Noy and Kenneth Murray that they just pointed at. Those are the guys that they said, hey, look, we're going right at that guy. If we're going to run the ball, we're running at those 2 guys because we know we're going to have holes in that defense with those guys. Now, Kyle Van Noy was asked to do something that's a little bit out of his spectrum as a player, playing a little bit more edge than anything. But I think now we have kind of a situation that we can be a lot better to guys that can fill the gaps. Drew was solid. I liked Drew a lot, but he was always like he was off just by a little bit in somewhere or another, just not getting those tackles, not being a sure tackle. Kenneth Murray just kind of gets washed out a little bit out of the play a lot. So I just think that we're going to be a better defense all around, especially against the run. Guys that know and understand the defense better. And I mean, and just to say on our defensive line, I feel like our defensive line might be a strength this season.
Yeah,
and,
could be good.
But it all boils down to health. It all boils down to health of this dang team.
It always does, doesn't it?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Thomas. Right, and you know what? By the way, what's so aggravating? Perfect example. I watched the Texans game. We were up like 24 to. Yeah. I think it was 24 to 0, and that game ended up being like 24 to 27.
Yeah,
Here's the problem: we got leads, we never held them, and the offense and the defense never seemed to be in sync, right? And it was like the offense was playing great, the defense was playing poor, and it was just ridiculous the way we were just out of sync, right? It's kind of like the damn Padres. I'm so sick and tired of the Padres right now.
Dude,
I'm gonna pop this bat and just toss it out the window. I'm done with it, dude. Done with it.
Talk about underperforming.
I know.
I mean,
unbelievable.
Hey,
unbelievable.
I mean, even the Dodgers are doing awful this year too. So it's like, I mean, it's like both
crazy.
these teams are playoff teams, but then they're just like, bleh, whatever.
It's bad.
Yep. Well, and again, it's one of those things too. Like, right? Look, I think bottom line, we have all the talent. We have the tools. Right. We have the talent. But for whatever reason, we cannot seem to put it together, right? And so that's what we need to do. And again, I think defensively, we're going to be really good next season. We got a lot of depth. Guys, camp is going to be really interesting, dude.
Yeah, very
really interesting. I'm super hyped about it, man, for sure.
Yep.
So, yeah.
What up, Aether? Good to see you, brother.
How we doing?
Aether in the house. What's up, bro?
Aether in the house. Hey, guys, and I just have to say something. This is the most boring time to be a Charger fan right now. There ain't no news out there. I mean, we're like, man, what the hell we even talk about,
Not just guys, Chargers, though. This is NFL period. Like, it's like slow time.
Well, I mean, you see a lot of the Chargers players right now doing, like, they're doing their little camps in their hometowns with, kids, and then they're out on vacation. I think Mike Will was out at, like, in the Cabo San Lucas or some place. I don't know where he was at, but all these dudes are just going on trips. I mean, Hopkins is out in Italy, I think, with Joshua Kelly right now. Like, it's like everybody's just trying to get their last little break before basically the start of the season, and then they disappear from their families pretty much at that point.
That's,
So,
yeah, and that's true, right? And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Thule as well too. I know.
Yeah.
I think this guy's going to be a dog. He's going to be a dog for us, dude.
yeah, he's a stud, man. Like I watched some of his highlights from USC, and he really only kind of had like one little move for the most part when he ended up getting sacks, but he's a very determined, high like motor kind of guy. For a dude that's what you want for an edge guy. That's what Joey Bosa's strength, in my opinion, was like a high engine kind of guy, high energy, a guy that could go out there and just not give up on a play. And I mean, he didn't really have the most razzle dazzle off the edge or anything like that, but he kind of had more like a like a stutter step in the inside than goes on the outside. But it was effective enough, I think, based upon his size, to be able to control the edge really, really well. I'm excited about this guy. Like, Money basically talked a little bit about him and said, man, like, just think of our defensive line on like saying running down situation or passing down situations. Actually, probably say it would probably be better, but. On a passing down situation, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Bash, Thule, and then it was like a fifth player: Bash, Thule, Mack, Bosa. Is that right? Is that 5? 4? That's 4, right? 4 players. But if you just have something that's set up like that, because Thule could be kind of a tweener guy. Like USC kind of put him in the inside and the outside quite a bit, but you could really make a very, very scary looking defensive line on passing situations with a guy like Thule. Like, that's one thing that's interesting about him. And by the way, he's on his rookie contract. He signed his contract. Who knows what the heck why there was a hold up on that contract. Sure, it was some little language or whatnot, but he was still in training camp with us. He was still working out with the players. It's not like he was like away or anything like that, which you'd love to see. I mean, his contract only costed us $1.19 million toward the cap. So currently we have roughly about $12.2 million to be able to spend on players if we want to spend on players. So and we got money to spend if we need to fill gaps.
Yeah, we were 20 million over the cap last season. So you never know. I mean, if the right guy comes up, John Johnson, I still want John Johnson. Going back to the defensive conversation, I don't think Lowe is ready yet. Look, I think Lowe would be fine, but you get a guy like John Johnson, someone that's good at stopping the run and also, good at, being a ball hawk. I think that would just solidify that safety room more. It would kind of suck for Lowe because he would be stuck, behind John Johnson.
Yeah.
But dude, Derwin and John Johnson back there, are you joking me? That would be just ridiculous.
Be really good.
Yeah.
So, I know the Chargers are really kind of looking at like, hey, like, although he's been kind of waiting in the wings, Telesco loves to kind of do that where it's like, hey man, you'll get your chance when it's time, kind of thing. And I think there's kind of that idea that they want to be able to give him his chance. Sure. And also at the same side, they want their 3rd round pick, JT Woods, to be able to get his chance too. I guess that's what the training camp's for, in my opinion. Prove us that you could be in that position.
Exactly. Right. I think that's what he needs to show. But see, and again, guys, just so you know, not a whole lot's going to be signed between now and camp. There might be a couple signing here and there. I know we could talk about some rumors. Obviously Zeke and Dalvin Cook are still kind of out there as running back potentials, but I kind of have a hard time seeing that happen. But it could happen. So, James, you might want to talk about this. This is Thomas's question around our new strength and conditioning coaches. You did a video on that. Maybe you can answer Thomas's question on this.
Yeah, Thomas. So injuries have plagued us for years. Do we all know that? Do we know anything about our new strength and conditioning coach? So basically, our coaches that we ended up getting, let me pull them actually up here real quick, because I know that was a while back that we chatted about it. But the coach that we ended up getting from the Titans.
Yeah, Sal Lopez.
Yep, Lopez. So he's had a very, very good stretch of being on healthy teams. Outside of last year, he's had a very, very good stretch of having some of the more healthier rosters in the league. Last year was almost like an anomaly at that point. I think it was only like, they were very, very back end based on being the healthiest squad, which ended up, the Titans were like 6-1 starting the season, and then they just plummeted from that point because of injuries. And so you really kind of look at it as like, hey, look, it was just one of those seasons where it just happened for them. But Lopez, I would hope that he's going to be able to come in here and really, really help out this team, get this team a little bit more healthier. bring in good traits to be able to make sure. Bottom line, actually, I'll say this. I think we fired our head of conditioning or head trainer or whatnot who's been here for 30 years, which is
30
wild.
years. Isn't that crazy?
Wild
30
to think
years.
any job for 30 years, especially in the NFL.
That's a great freaking career, bro.
Forget about that.
That's crazy. Yeah. But I think we ended up getting rid of him because if you look at like last year, there was always these soft tissue, day to day. Was it Allen might be back this week? No, he's not going to be this week. There was a miscommunication going on there. Something wasn't being reported correctly. And I think Brandon Staley just wants somebody who could communicate properly to him about when these guys could come back and be ready and everything too.
Yeah.
Right.
So our coaches, and even one of the coaches that we actually pushed up to being one of the head guys too, he ended up winning an award too for being one of the head trainers in the NFL, which he was shocked about getting too. So sorry, his name passes me, but
starts with an M.
Lamato, as an Anthony Lamato, I believe.
Yeah.
Was it Lamato or Jonathan Brooks? Oh, Jonathan Brooks, I think it was.
Yeah.
So either which way, the one thing I'll say about this is I think Brandon Staley's done a good job of trying to change this organization all around. Make it a better culture. Make it a culture where it's a winning culture. Make it a culture where players are getting the best conditioning program they possibly can. Having more communication within this organization. And that's, Brandon Staley just called the shot and said, hey, man, it's been 30 years and we have not gotten better by any means. I mean, I think there was a year under McCoy where I swear we had it probably was 22, 23 players on IR at least at some point in the year.
It's crazy.
It was awful. It was awful. So
that's terrible.
I'm just hoping for the best. And if you watch anything on the NFL Network, when anybody talks anything about the Chargers, the one thing they say is on paper, they're Super Bowl champs. They have all the talent in the world. It's injuries every year. Time.
Yep.
That's all that holds this organization back. If we could come in with a full healthy season, just watch Justin Herbert in 2020 and a healthy Justin Herbert. He's throwing that ball all over the place. That team is just ripping and roaring and going.
We'll see if we can pull some stats on that. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, he was rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. Yeah. I mean, that's more than enough. I mean, it was just a difference of a team all around. So if we could just stay healthy, that will be the absolute key on how far this team could go. There was actually a comment earlier talking about Super Bowl odds. Anthony. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the
money at it? I'm gonna throw some money at it. What's up? Let's do it.
Low 25 to 1, high 30 to 1. I see money. Let's go. Yeah. It's once again, Chargers have all the talent in the world. It just comes down to health with this freaking team. It's last year, if we were healthy, I mean, even to say Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack even talks about it. He's like, I'm glad that we have the opportunity to try to run this back with Joey Bosa. And I'm glad to be able to play with him this year. And I'm really hoping that we could be what everybody expects us to be this year. It's just about being healthy. Guys, it's just health. Please. I'm hoping these trainers can make this happen. I cannot beat it down anymore in this organization's head. Find a way to get healthy and stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And
Brisket Broads. Hey, man, let's go.
Haley, what's up?
What's up? Brisket Broads are here. What's up?
Hey, ready for training camp later on this month. I am ready to go. So we will see you there for sure.
We're going to be there. All right. So Aether, I think this is Aether's question. I'm not really seeing a question here. I was thinking about the new OC, wanted to try 3-step drop ball. Is out. Defense can't do nothing. Will he accept my brother Montana? Oh, not sure.
Montana was the best at doing it. So just talking about 3-step drops. So it's 3-step drops throw, basically. So quick pass.
Okay, thanks for translating that for me.
That's like Tom Brady's career. In my opinion, 3-step drop, go.
Yeah, but again, remember that's what Justin Herbert was doing all last season too, right? He worked on his footwork a ton last season, and so look, I think Justin Herbert's footwork is fantastic. I mean, I was watching some of this OTA stuff. His footwork looks great. Kellen Moore's talked about it quite a bit too. But yeah, I think you were going to ask also a question about Justin Herbert. I was going to bring up one other thing that came up this week that I thought was interesting. I almost thought about doing a video on it. Basically, there was a report that came out that Joe Burrow is waiting for Herbert to get his contract signed. So basically, Burrow and Herbert are waiting on each other to get their contract signed, right? So
domino's gonna fall, basically.
Exactly correct, right?
Contract chicken.
Yeah.
Right now, what it looks like is that Herbert's projected to be around 285 million, whereas Burrow's going to be around 300 million, right? And however that breaks out, 5-year, 6-year contracts, but it'll be around 50 million a year, which is just crazy money. But dude, they're worth it, right? I mean, those guys are absolute studs, so they have to have that, money. I do think the question I always have in my mind, right? And what do you guys think in the chat? If you're paying a quarterback that much money, can you still build a team around someone with that much money, right? Because typically, if you go 5 or 6 years, it would give them an opportunity to renegotiate again after the 4th or 5th year for another a larger amount, right? Then you're 50 million. Okay, now you're making 70 million. Well, with that much money being allocated to one player, they got to be pretty dang special, right? So I think it's an interesting discussion. So what do you guys think in the chat? If we pay Herbert $50 million, can we still build a team around him? Brandon Staley specifically said, though, it has to be built in the draft because then you can stay on rookie contracts, pick and choose who stays, who goes, yada, yada, right? So it'd be pretty interesting.
Yep. Yeah, the whole Justin Herbert contract situation, I know we're kind of jumping around from a lot of different subjects because I think it's kind of more just like, let's just talk about things at this point.
Yeah.
This is a hodgepodge show in a sense. But the whole Justin Herbert contract thing, nice. And I know we chatted a little bit about this through our text message. We were chatting about how, will Justin Herbert hold out for the training camp? Would he do something like that? Would he hold out to not sign a contract this year and really bet this year that he's going to have an MVP season, and so he gets paid more next season? Would he do that? I don't know. And that's something that we could really, really think about. That would he bet on himself? I don't think he's that guy that would sit out. He himself has said kind of like, you know what, I'm the captain of this team. I'm the quarterback of this team. I need to be out with my team. Now you could take that as a couple different ways. I mean, Derwin James last year, he kind of sat out but stood with the team, hung out with the team, but didn't really practice too much with the team until he got his contract. So would Justin Herbert do that? Would it also be better if he did not practice just to let his shoulder heal up just a little bit more too? I don't know. He looked fine in the underwear Olympics, throwing the ball around.
Yeah, right.
But everyone looks good in their underwear though, right?
Everybody looks great in their underwear. I was almost going to do the show with a shirt off. So this is going to be
I look good without clothes on, but I don't know about you guys.
Oh, geez. Ain't nobody want to see that. Ain't nobody want to see that.
Man.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy, it's a family show, Kyle. Come on,
come on,
you guys talking about chones up in here, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, all right then. There we go.
But, it's going to be interesting to see what really happens in training camp. I don't think Justin Herbert's that guy that's going to sit out. I think he loves the game too much. He doesn't want to be away from the game, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, I would like it to see, personally, in my opinion, I'd like to see Justin Herbert sign his contract before the season starts, just so it's out of his mind. It's not in the back of his mind by any means. So I'd love to just have it over with.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a good point. Good point, Thomas. If we were to stay healthy, man, honestly, it's just every season. It's just that way.
Exactly.
It just frustrates me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, we could easily be a 13-4 team. Like, that'll take the division, in my opinion, because that means that you beat the Chiefs at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
That easily could be that situation. As long as we could be freaking healthy, this team could go a long, long ways.
Right.
Freaking healthy. That's hey, that should be the name of the pod today, huh? Freaking healthy.
Freaking healthy.
That's right.
Hey, let's go. We're between two beards again now. Okay, this is good. We got to make sure we do that. Brisket broads, that's a really good point, right? What's his name? Pat McAfee always talks about the salary cap is a bit of a myth, right? I mean, look at the Saints; they just keep moving money all around, and look, it's a big part of it, right? Contracts. I'm actually going to do a video on the 5 players that are not going to be with the Chargers in 2024. And it's going to be dollars. It's going to be dollar amounts, right? So I'm going to talk about that. probably
Cool.
in 2 weeks or so.
Yep.
At least my
Cool.
predictions.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to even just throw out another topic about Justin Herbert since we've just been chatting a little bit about it. You know, it was on Locked On Chargers, and they brought up a question about, is Justin Herbert an assassin? Is he a guy that could basically kill a team when you make a mistake? Like, think of how many I couldn't even say that. How many times Tom Brady basically killed us when we made a mistake?
You got to get the name right, James. It's Tom Shady, dude. It's Tom Shady.
Yeah.
Tom Shady, dude.
Did you see that photo since he's like a minority owner of the Raiders?
Yeah.
He had the new haircut, and he had the the freaking little bowl cut, little haircut
now.
You got to pull that up. I got to see this.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. I'd have to look around for that one, but
okay.
But either which way, so like Patrick Mahomes, he's a straight up assassin. Like the guy, how many times has he done it to us where he finds some way to basically just kill us? Like just yesterday, I watched the replay of the second KC game where, you know, we gave him a minute 23 or whatnot.
Yep.
He had 2 timeouts. What did he do? Went straight down the field, got a touchdown, won the game. Like, is Justin Herbert an assassin? Like, I could pull up actually just some, you know, stats here just to give you an idea. I base this idea on game-winning, you know, drives. Tom Brady obviously is number 1, you know, 58 in his career. Crazy. Matt Ryan, ironically, is number 2 at 46. Wow.
Matt Ryan.
That's crazy. Dog. He's a dog, I guess. Man.
He's got some sort of space chamber or something like that. Yeah. Putting his body back together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Matt Stafford's 3 at 42. Russell Wilson at 35. I think that's past his career, in my opinion. Derek Carr is ironically number 5 at 33. But Aaron Rodgers at 31. But when you go down the list, tied for 15, Justin Herbert's at 13 in basically, 3 seasons now. So if you start looking at other guys, like Josh Allen's at 15, and he's got 2 years, I believe, on Justin Herbert. Yeah. Justin Herbert's done 13 game-winning drives in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
That's almost a whole season of games that he's won on game-winning based drives. Lamar Jackson only has 10, and he's basically been in the league for a while, and he's only been, you know, MVP and hasn't really done a whole heck of a lot there. So Justin Herbert has the ability to find ways to put our team in winning situation and win a game for us. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. That Raiders-Chargers game. When we were down. I mean, that was obviously, we ended up losing that. But, dude, that last 4 minutes of that game was one of the most incredible 4 minutes I've ever seen in my life. Like, that was wild. 4th and long, 2 of them, finds way to get touchdowns. Dog. Dude, just knows what to do. I mean, even to say last year against the Cardinals here in Arizona, same way. Game-winning drive. Found a way to get it downfield. Not just got the touchdown, but also got you a 2-point conversion. That's awesome.
That was some big ball Staley move.
Big ball Staley, dude. Dude, it was funny that we saw a random Twitter of somebody recording us running around calling him Big Ball Staley. And it was on, I think it was on Twitter or TikTok or something, but it was us running around talking about Big Ball Staley.
Big Ball Staley.
It was the funniest video. I was like, look at us. We're famous. But I'm just saying, I'll pose the question to you guys. Is Justin Herbert that assassin? Is he that guy that could kill a team when they make mistakes? I'm going to open up to the bros. If you guys had any comments on it, I'm sorry. I'm kind of going on a rant on this.
Yeah. Is he the dog? He's got that dog in him.
I think he does.
I think he's a bit of a quiet leader, though, right? I think he's not going to come out there and get all fiery, right? And I think that's where Phil Rivers was kind of a little rough, because I think he would let his emotions get a little bit of best of him. You know, you guys all know that I play competitive sports like softball and such. We got our ass kicked on Thursday. I was pretty pissed off, you know, and it was one of those things where, like, you know, you just get angry. Like, this is stupid. Like, why are we losing? We should be losing to this team, you know? And, you know, then I said, look, fine, I'm gonna go to the cages. I'm going to start hitting better. You know, I got to be better at fielding and all the above. Right. And I think that's where Herbert's a little bit better. He's more even keeled, but he also puts a lot of time and effort into perfecting his craft. I think it was Keenan Allen who said something like he sticks around for an hour and a half after practice and just throws the balls around, you know?
Awesome.
So I mean, the man's a machine, and that's what he cares about. And I think that's a big reason why he won't sit out, right? I think he is excited to play football. He wants to play football. He wants to play some ball. So what's your thoughts there, Kyle?
No, I'm actually going to be a devil's advocate here and say that we still have not really seen him be the assassin that he should be against the difficult teams. There was a guy who was talking about it on Instagram the other day, whereas all the teams that we actually beat last year, like most of them, were not really great teams. The only two great teams that were that we did beat were the Titans and the Dolphins last year, but they were on their downhill at that point already. So I really feel like that's just kind of the bigger problem. It's like, obviously that Raiders game, we ended up not winning that game, but we had a chance to win that game.
Yep.
And I really do feel like it was because of Justin Herbert just trying to will that into existence,
Yeah.
But I just feel like, he's almost there. But Aether actually just made a comment here, and I agree with that for sure, is that, like, with the right offensive coordinator, he will be that assassin for sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, and that's just the truth, is that, like, Justin Herbert can only do what he needs, he can do as a quarterback, but the offensive coordinator needs to make the right calls for him to get it done.
Yep.
It's interesting. I was actually just talking to a guy on my softball team last night, and he's like, I made a comment that I have a podcast, for the Chargers. He's like, "Oh, you guys got Kellen Moore. He's a Cowboys fan." He's like, "Oh, he sucks," and I can't believe, I said, "Bro, yeah, but you got Dak Prescott. You are the 5th ranked offense in the league with a pretty subpar quarterback. Oh, and you won with that backup. You were 4-1 with a backup. What was that guy's name again?
Cooper Rush.
Oh,
Cooper Rush. Yeah, the ginger.
Cooper Rush. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't got a soul. So my point is, at the end of the day, that's a good OC, right?
Yeah.
He made it simple for that team to be successful, right? And he's like, "Well, you're kind of right," but it's so funny how salty a lot of these Cowboy fans are about Kellen Moore, and it just blows me away. I'm like, dude, I guess we're watching different games, because I'm not seeing it that way at all.
Right.
That's Cowboys fans for you. They're the Raiders fans of the NFC.
Dude, well, they think every year they're like, Super Bowl, baby, and then they just blow it in the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. Like, I mean, but the thing about it is, like, Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat, in my opinion. If basically his offense sucks this year, well, it was Kellen Moore's offense that got you to where you needed to be. So, like, it's an interesting thing to see. I'm really excited about Kellen Moore. I think he understands what kind of talent we have. I mean, in Peter Schrager's podcast, he chatted a lot about, man, Chargers got a lot of size that I could work with. And
size does matter.
Dude, size matters, baby. This guy, dude.
Show, dude.
Hey,
Hey, man.
It's the Bolt fam. It's the Bolt fam, not just it's not a kid show. Yeah. Boy.
Okay, keep it going.
The show's going off the rails.
Hey, all right. This is a question for you, Kyle. This is Adrian's question for you.
All right, yeah. So, so he says, Kyle, let's say the Chargers are 5-0 and at KC 4-1. We beat them to take a 2 games lead. Can we hold them to 2 games lead? So I'm assuming that's the whole season.
Well, no, this would actually be 5-0. This would be because we play them week 6.
Yeah, we play week 6.
We play them week 6, but we don't play the rest of the division. So basically, is he saying that we're going to hold a 2-game lead for the rest of the season? Yeah, that's what he's saying. You know what? It's possible because we have a easier schedule than they do. I mean, they got the Eagles to play against, the Bills, the Bengals. They got a lot of tougher teams that they got to play against than we do. So I think it's very possible, but it really just comes down to health still. Yeah. I mean, like, as long as we're staying healthy and all that stuff, then and I feel like they will have a bit of a slump from actually winning the Super Bowl last year. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to repeat. They did lose a lot of their players. They don't have Juju anymore, right? It's still just Mahomes and Kelsey, of course. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
one of those guys go down, and their season's over. So
yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, we'll see what happens, and but the bigger thing is too, let's see how the refs react to how the Chiefs play in the fourth quarter. Like, throwing some timely penalty flags. That'll determine.
unbelievable,
It's like,
right?
well, this is their season again.
Yeah.
If they start getting those calls again, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they-
ridiculous.
It's like design plays to try to get them to basically do penalties. I mean, you could think about it in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that same idea of trying to get some sort of like, penalty to be able to get free throws or whatever it is. Is the same idea I think that they have with the Chiefs. I mean, it's Chiefs fans try to say, look, oh no, it's just the right call, right? Whatever, like that Super Bowl call, whereas the holding call of the Eagles late in that game to basically give the Chiefs that Super Bowl, like that's a ticky-tacky call in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but that was
Especially in
like,
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
come on, yeah, and you're in the Super Bowl, biggest game of the year. Like, come on, dude, let them play. Like,
Yep.
let them play. Like, I don't know, man, freaking Chiefs.
So let's go to some of the questions here, some comments. Too. So this
Exactly.
is good.
And that's the bottom line. Freaking
Yeah.
Chiefs. You can't
Freaking Chiefs.
like just say no. We're gonna hold a 2-game lead for them the entire rest of the season. So that's hard to say. That's really hard to
Tough
say.
one. But the thing is,
I
though,
love
we
that.
play in week 18. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it really boils down to potentially division.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
we stay healthy, if everything goes well in the season, that could be the division deciding game. So,
Yeah, and this is a good point. Yeah, and that's one thing I loved about Brady is that he also took less money so he can have a team around him. And then, yeah, Gerard Clark, right? I tell you what, I think he's good. Again, he's my undrafted free agent. I think he has the best shot of making the team. We had so many
Yeah.
injuries on the defensive line. As long as he does decent, I
Mhm.
think he'll probably make the squad, right? He's
I feel like
the
he's
one
he's
guy.
definitely. I feel like he's a 1-to-1 replacement for Hoko though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm a little salty that we didn't re-sign Fahoko. What do you guys think in the chat as well, too? I was a little bit like, I mean, he's on the Steelers, which is probably the perfect team for him to be on.
yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, why didn't we re-sign him?
Yeah.
I was a little bit frustrated with that as well, too. Good to see
You know,
Zach as well.
CJ Okoye is one of those guys, too, that's on the defensive line. That guy that we got from the international or NFL international program, too. That's another big dude on the
Yeah.
O-line that I'm interested
That's
to
right.
see what he could do and if he could really even find a way on this team. I mean, it might be practice squad kind of situation now. I mean, Jared Clark, I'm looking at him as probably his practice squad just
Right.
because there's too much talent on this dang team. It's going to be a lot of hard cuts all around.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and Thomas, yeah, just that's actually what hurt the guy. Actually, I think he ended up in the combine. He was a little heavier, man. I think he showed up, I mean, look, man, he's already 330, which is pretty big. And I mean, I think there were some discussions he might have ended up at 350, which is just damn
Yeah.
massive,
juggernaut, dude.
massive.
So but footwork, things like that were kind of some of the problems that were there, right? So Pablo, so good to see you too as well, man. It's awesome. Hey, hey guys, seriously, thank you for hopping on, right? I mean, look, this is the most boring part of the year, like
Dog
flat
days.
out.
Yeah,
I mean, come on now, there ain't nothing to talk about, so
Actually, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of things going on in July, to be honest. Pablo actually just hit this up too right now.
Yep.
Like, that on the 15th, there is the Bolt fam. We're doing a little event. It's the Bolt City Diehards. It's like an event going on that day. And then the next day, right after it, there's a homeless like a shelter backpack drive or something like that going on. And then obviously training camp, of course. But then I think there's something on the 22nd as well. The Swoop and D tailgate event down in San Diego.
Oh,
So
wow.
that'll be pretty dope. And then on the 29th, that's kind of the Back to the Fam event for the with the training camp. But then after that, the Die Hard Boat Club is going to Hooters, and they're doing a little
of course
event
they are. Of
over
course
there.
they
Yeah.
are.
Hey,
Hooters.
you know what? Hey, it's like
Hey,
they host
nobody
it
goes
every
to
year.
Hooters for wings, right? That's what Chris Rock says, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Their wings are terrible, by the way. Suck.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like I had like Hooters. Well, it's probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
those are good wings. Those are good
Really?
wings, dude.
I don't know about that. So Zach, good point on that too, though, right? I mean, again, that he's tough as nails, man. He wants to stay out there, and that's one thing I do love about Herbert for sure.
I mean, I remember it was Al Michaels. It sounded like he just was stunned after the previous play of him, like, just like
Yeah.
couldn't even throw his arm
He
up.
was like,
Ugh.
yeah.
And then he throws a straight laser to
Straight
DeAndre Carter right after that. And he was like, wow, like dude was stunned after that. So
Yep.
the guy's got tough as nails, man. The guy can make the throws when necessary. It's just, I think one thing that I'll say theme wise of last year is he had a lot of dudes out there that were just average wide receivers, you know, like if he just had, and that's why we ended up going after like a QJ. That's why we ended up having basically Darius Davis, the guys that are adding more firepower to this team all around, add more depth to that wide receiver room. Still got Palmer there. You got Allen Williams. Like, if these guys could stay intact, I mean, my opinion, four wide receiver sets all day. Let's just go. Let's just dump the ball out. Go. Just make it hard on the defense, dude. 4 wide receiver sets all day. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, and Herbert. I don't know that I think he audibles a little bit underneath Lombardi, but I actually really do hope that Moore allows him to audible more. Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, let's say you're running an 11 personnel and they look like they're blitzing. All right, well, let's check out of the run, or the pass or whatever's set up. Pick 2. Because like back when Peyton Manning was quarterback, he'd usually have 3 plays called. And so there were 3 different formations or 3 different plays that he could run out of that formation.
Yeah.
And then he'd see what the defense is doing, and then he'd audible to which one would be best, right? And I think that's really what Moore should do with Herbert, because Herbert's very smart. We all know that he's an extremely smart person. So I hope that happens. My suspicion is he will do it that way. But again, not a whole lot of that. It's been, they're definitely holding their cars close to the vest about what they're going to do.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
I forgot.
I should have had mine available. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, and you're right, Pablo. I don't know what it is, man. Like, any Cowboys fan, it's just strange. It's almost like they don't even understand the game of football or something. It's really weird to me.
It's like, I feel like the Raiders too. I think they still think Gannon's still on the team and Jerry Rice is still on the team. Like,
that's right.
Like, these guys have been gone for a minute, man.
I think they still think John Madden's the coach too.
John Madden's still.
Yep.
They're asleep by third quarter, anyways. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah. And Zach, I think the biggest part of the problem too is Burrow and Mahomes are on like a better overall team, right? I do think our defense still needs to improve. To get injuries, we're not good. And yes, I miss Brisket Bros. We miss Fahoko. He was such a fun dude, man.
Yeah.
And
good
clearly,
locker room guy.
Good locker room guy. And he didn't. I think he wanted to stay. I don't think there was anything that said he wanted to go anywhere. But the Chargers didn't pick him up. Maybe he's doing something wrong. I don't know. Let's see.
What? You guys want to jump into
James Brisket Bros? Brisket Bros.
Jump into the actual
Brisket
debate,
the
great debate about the jerseys.
Jerseys. Oh yeah. That's obviously the whole reason why we're doing
it. James, can you check your pulse real quick? Are you going to have a stroke here in a second? What's going on?
I've been
stroking out. Like, come on, dude, check your pulse, dude. Where are you at?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. What are you talking about?
Double your dose, bro. Double your dose. Okay, let's go.
Double my dose. What am I dosing?
Dosey dose. Yeah.
So here, let's chat about this. So there's an email that the Chargers sent out about asking about black uniforms. If the Chargers fans would like to see black uniforms with the Chargers, and I've seen variants out there too. I saw this one that was like a black Justin Herbert uniform where he put like gold around
too,
like the numbers and everything and the bolts and everything, and I think it was like a rookie of the year kind of jersey or something like that. And I thought it looked kind of cool, but at the same side, everybody's putting it as too close as like the Raiders, like
yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know, these are some variants that I've seen out there. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on it. Just wanted to see what you think. I know Pablo's already saying, please no black jerseys. Yuck. Yeah.
Hey man, but those are the games we got to win, dude. I kind of like them, dude. The blackouts.
Yeah.
But I will say this: like the Major League Baseball, they have those City Connect uniforms, right? Yeah. So you got to wonder if the NFL is going to do something like that as well, like not City Connect, maybe alternate unis. I know we had alternate helmets last season, right? So I do think there's going to probably be some sort of jersey like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Dark
Good
sucks.
point.
Come to the light.
that's
Yeah,
right.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting situation. What was the other one you got here too? Yeah, here's the other one. I don't know about that one, dude. Kind of looks like a banana, like on the field, you know?
What is it? Savannah bananas over here, dude?
Savannah
What are you
bananas,
talking about?
dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Savannah bananas.
Honestly, no, I like the all yellow situation. You know, like I mean,
Really?
but the color scheme is more of the royal kind of color scheme, because it's a little bit too close to the Rams or whatever. Like yeah, like so if it was like the baby blue instead of the royal blue, I think it could look kind of nice. It's kind of like what I'm wearing right here. You know, this is like
Yeah.
more of the a little bit more like the Lakers, I think. I think that's kind of why I like the idea of that.
I think what would be cool is just that, because baby blue is what everyone wears. Everyone wears the baby
Right.
blue.
Yeah.
So why don't you just make it an all baby blue jersey, dude? Just all baby blue from top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's what I think would be better. What do you guys think of that?
But
I
this
mean-
this is what a lot of people are saying too. Is just like just make the helmet
All
navy. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And the thing is, though, the Chargers did that when San Diego had fires, I think in 2002, and then they moved the game to Arizona. And the Chargers went all Navy. And I thought that was awesome. And it was great because it was like a night game, too. So it was like a Sunday night football or Monday night game or something like that. And I think it looks great. It looks kind of intimidating in a sense. Just go all Navy, which I love the Navy jerseys. I think they're great.
Yeah.
It would just be awesome if they just went straight all Navy. Like, even how cool if they did a different shade of the bolts in like I don't know, like a darker blue or some sort of other blue. They could just darken it up even more if they want to. But yeah, going all black to me is like getting a little close to the Raiders. We don't like those guys.
No,
Like,
man. Yeah, it's like it's too,
They ain't cool, you know what I'm
they
saying?
ain't cool, man.
yeah.
We don't like them.
I'm definitely not a fan of the all black for sure. Like
Yeah.
navy is my preferred color if we're going dark for sure. Yeah. But we also got this kind of option too. Hey, let's go bring it all back. Bring it back to the '90s style. I like this a lot. We got the white
Like I'm looking
in
at
there.
Stan Humphries here. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like Stan Humphries, like like Phil Rivers. Like
Yeah.
you can't see it on the picture, but yeah, like his pants are also just like the white with the bolt too. Just
Yeah.
like just keep it, bring it back to the LT days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it wouldn't be bad to have like throwback jerseys like that too, like an old school throwback jersey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I got this exact type of jersey right here in my corner there. It's
Right.
signed
Oh,
by
yeah, you
Herbert,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that would bring the value of that thing up like a lot if he actually did wear something like that.
It's an actual jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he actually, that's it. Like we see him
That's
in
awesome.
that. That's dope.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
But here's the other alternate type, like there. So this is more like a fan made thing, obviously. So it's just like the black with the yellow on the outside, blue on the inside. I mean, you can tell it's a fan made thing because like the bolt is here on the left there, But they also have like the numbers on the shoulders too, which is not really like the NFL or the Chargers situation now, So
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pablo, I think we are winless in those navy blues, right? So I think there's something to be said about, do we really want to play, in jerseys that we're not winning in?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it is an interesting conversation. I actually do think there will be some. Look, the NFL wants to sell jerseys. This is the way they can do it. I mean, look at like the Padres with their City Connect uniforms. Man, every damn team, every softball team has like a that's their jersey now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, those are so sick. And so, yeah, I mean, it's how you make some jersey money, for the NFL.
Merchandise. You know what I'm saying?
where the real money is made.
Yogurt, just plain yogurt.
Just yeah, you guys know Spaceballs. Fantastic. But
we could also talk about some Chargers rumors as well. Maybe we kind of wrap up on some free agents that we want to go after. Again, you guys all know John Johnson's the guy I want. I really do think having a safety back there, a veteran safety, would be a good thing. I know Dalvin Cook was a conversation. I know Zeke Elliott's still out there. I do not want Zeke. I've said that time and time again. I really hope we don't get him. I don't know. Who are some of the other rumors you've been listening to, James and Kyle?
I mean, that was it. Like, really, there's, mostly just the rumors that a lot of people are talked about mostly is Zeke. Definitely not Dalvin Cook. I know a lot of people still want Kyle Van Noy back, but then after you guys talked about how they just attacked his position and just went through him, maybe they wouldn't want to go for him again. But I mean, he's still a fan favorite, because he's very active on Twitter, and that's why a lot of fans like him. And so after every game he chats with the people and stuff like that. Like I like Kyle Van Noy. I think, but just think about that, Kyle Van Noy and Eric Kendricks. I think that's way better than Kendricks and Murray. For a mid right there. And so I think if we're gonna get somebody though, I think in free agency, I think a middle linebacker would be the choice. Another one besides just Kendricks.
Yep. Yeah, it's. The rumors are essentially just Zeke, which I don't really know if we really need him, in my opinion. Now, once again, if we do these type of signings, we're feeling unsure about our running back room. So if you go after a Dalvin Cook, which would be a dynamite signing, in my opinion. But at the same side, I think he was one of the top backs in the league of having rushes under zero yards. Yeah, 0 gain yards and negative yards. So there's kind of a little bit of a unsure situation with that. I mean, what do? We ended up signing a running back at the end of the season, or basically into the end of the training camp last year with Sony Michel. Didn't really work out well at all.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out at all. So I don't think that we should really do something like that. But I mean, if they end up signing a John Johnson late in training camp, it's because they feel unsure about that position. So I don't really know where we would end up going with the signing at this point. I mean, there's still a lot of rumors, but I think it all depends on what training camp looks like in my opinion. I think it's going to be a lot more filler-based positions more than anything, just adding depth. I mean, Brandon Staley's even been on record saying this is going to be a very difficult training camp and a lot of hard cuts that are going to happen this season.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Yeah. I think it's going to be big. Well, we have a question here from Aether as well too, and then I have a couple more that I want to throw out as well too. So I know we're bouncing around a little bit on this show today, folks, but hey, this is the boring time being a Charger fan, right? I have a question from James. Talk about you two pick wide receiver and one running back never played for the Bolts. Play with Herbert in their prime and give me Moss and TD. Let's go. Pick one. Let's go.
So basically, just choose a player that wide receiver and running back that has not played on the Chargers that you would like to be able to play currently with this team. So he chose Moss and Terrell Davis. So I don't know. I remember chatting a little bit, I believe, about Moss with him too. I mean, Moss is an absolute stud. I mean, how many times I think on ESPN of "you got mossed"? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude is just a straight baller. I mean, Megatron was one of the guys that I thought about.
That's who I thought too. Yeah.
Calvin Johnson was an absolute dog.
He was ridiculous.
Dude, I actually saw, the video you sent over too from Peter Schrager with the interview with Kellen Moore, and they played that. Yeah, it was 3 men on him in the end zone, and he just straight jumped over all of them and straight dunked on them, dude. Straight dunked on them. Wow, dude, no big deal. Easy peasy, man. Like, as a running back, like, I would like to see like a Barry Sanders or something like that. Barry Sanders is an absolute stud on his feet, and just guy knew how to get the ball in his hands and just take it to the house. I mean, he was sweet feet, dude. Sweet feet for sure. So I don't know. There's so many good players in the NFL that have been here historically. Yep.
Yeah.
Zach, we just chatted about that. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And we did watch that video. I actually saw it. I was like, this is sick. Pretty cool stuff, man.
Good stuff.
That's all the stuff we like to just eat up, especially with time right now. There's not much to learn, at this point, right? I was like, okay.
Anyone talking about the Chargers from the Chargers teams, really put that on.
Yep. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. So another guy that's out there too. We didn't talk about this. Bryce Callahan is still not signed. I actually think there's a good chance we sign him again. He's still out there, right? I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, he was our lead interception.
Yeah.
I think. Would he have a 6 or 5?
No, I think it was only like 3 or something. We barely had any turnovers.
I don't know. He may have had a forced fumble too, though. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah, but he was locked down, man. He did a good job. But I know there's another obviously John Johnson, and then there's tight end ex Titans Swaim. Jeff Schwame. I know some people are talking about him, and then cornerback Troy Hill from the Rams.
Yeah.
Could be another guy we could go get. I cannot remember if Troy Hill is younger than Callahan. I think, to me, that might be an interesting thing. I have to look that up. But
I mean, the thing about it is our backfield, like, once again, if we're thinking 2024, now, obviously we got a season ahead of us. You got to get these young guys out there and get them going in this defense. And so Jasir Taylor is going to be the slot guy. I mean, if you think J.C. Jackson's going to come back fully healthy, you got J.C. on the outside with basically like Michael Davis on the opposite. Now you got Asante Samuel with Jasir. We got plenty of depth on that nickel position at that point. Getting a guy like Callahan makes you think, well, do we not feel confident about JC coming back? Do we not feel confident about Jasir being that guy? Do we feel like there's something we're a little unsure about with Asante Samuel Jr.? Like, I just feel like we have that position set, in my opinion. Like, all signs to me, and once again, I'm seeing a very small scope and just a small lens of what's going on with the Chargers right now. But J.C. Jackson looks like he'll be ready. I think he'll be ready. I think he'll be ready. So unless he's not ready, that's where I think like a Bryce Callahan, signing makes sense, just to be able to add a little bit more depth. Guy that's been in the system, plug and play, easy peasy. But I think this backfield could be extremely dangerous of this defense. Yeah, very dangerous.
I agree. Yeah, and again, if we could just stay healthy, right? And put some wrinkles out there, right? I think if you guys watch my defensive video from last week, man, we were so inconsistent. That's the right word for it, right? And that was my fifth reason. We had up and down quarters. We were like hot, then not, right? I mean, again, we don't want to talk about the Jags game, but damn. We gave up a lot of points that second half, and it wasn't on Herbert, but the offense didn't do jack squat, right? And so we were worst team in third quarter in production in the league.
Well, I think we're under 3 points on average in the third quarter. How can you do that? You come out of the gates just stagnant. Like, yo, give some dudes some Red Bulls in the locker room. Let's get out there, boys, and go.
That's right.
Yeah, geez, I know. Like, do a bump of cocaine, get your ass out on the field. Let's do it.
Well, clearly they had that over in the Jaguars side. Shoot.
Yeah. I mean, but what's wild is that the Chargers were like, I believe, number one in the league in second quarter scoring at like 11.2 points or something on average. But then we're the worst in the league on the third quarter. Yeah. What does that do? Like, it creates tight games late in the game. And that second quarter means nothing. I believe I chatted about it too, about the Kellen Moore-based video, I believe a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was. Just talking about quarter-to-quarter scoring. He had a very consistent quarter-to-quarter scoring, never was under, I think, top 7 in the league for scoring. So very consistent throughout. That's what you want to see, a consistency of scoring all around. And Lombardi was just up and then just sit down and do nothing, dude. Give these dudes some Red Bulls and let's go, boys. Smack them on the butt, go.
Something,
like,
dude.
Come on, man. Wake up, dude.
Giddy up. That's right,
Yeah, Barry was the man too, for sure. Okay,
pass around the smelling salts, Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Actually, we were joking that I should go buy some of that for my softball team because we lost so bad on Thursday. We need some smelling salts before we go up there and swing the bat. I'm like, golly, guys. And I was telling my team, I was like, hey guys, when you get on base, you gotta send a little love to the dugout, do like see me now, little flappy bird,
dance, dude.
The gritty, dude. Yeah, so
doing, dude.
But hey, you gotta give the dugout some love, keep the rally going, right? So
right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go. Aether. I guess Kyle, you want to take this question or James?
Maybe we should kick this Raiders fan out of here first, though.
Oh man, there you go. There you go. Watch out, buddy. You're in the lion's den, boys.
That's right.
Anyways, Aether, you want me to take this one?
You go first. Yeah, it's fine.
Aether, I have a great comment for week 1. Bolts offense explodes with a little dynamite emoji. With 38 points against the Fish and the new OC, while the Cowboys struggle with the Giants. Bolts win 38-17, boys. Cowboys lose 24-17. It would be awesome to be able to see that. Now, once again, Fangio is the defensive coordinator over there. We played him a fair amount when he was the Denver Broncos head coach. Last time we played him, I believe we did blow them out over at Denver. Fangio and Staley are very connected with their philosophies of defenses. Very similar defenses. So it's not like there's going to be too much of, surprises for us at all. But they did get Jalen Ramsey. They have Xavier Howard over there too. They got some pretty good teams over there defensively wise. Offensively, I think for them, it all boils down to Tua. If they could even throw the ball on us. I mean, Tua to me. What did we do against Tua last time we played him? We made him look silly. He was completely off. I remember they were like, "Oh, it's so cold out here. It's 62 degrees or something like that." Yeah, and they had heaters on the sidelines.
Heaters on the sidelines over here. I'm like, dude, it's not that cold,
bro. Come on.
Y'all are sissies. Hey, and speaking of which, what's that guy's name? The guy called Herbert a social media what's his name? Ocho? Or what's his name?
Yeah, Emmanuel Ocho. Yeah.
Ocho, yeah. He basically
called him out. Called him out and met him.
Yeah, I know. That's right. That was awesome that you did that too. But I remember I watched a video of him. He basically said that right now Herbert's ahead of Tua, but he thinks that Tua is going to take the lead over Herbert by beating us week 1. And I'm like, man, come on now.
Dude is
that guy's a clown, dude. That guy's a clown.
I'm telling you. The whole reason why he's hating on Herbert right now is because it's a highly searched term, and he's trying to ride those coattails to be 100%. Very anti him.
100%.
It's like, and it's like, come on, man. The guy did not have. He had a very mediocre NFL career himself. So, he's just peanut butter and jealous that he didn't get any real good play time. So
peanut butter and jealous.
That's right.
Although I say that all the time.
What are the Brisket Broads? Their sign was like, "Get my quarterback out your mouth" or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
quarterback name out your mouth.
He's a social media
air thing. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That was classic. That was fire right there. That's for sure.
That was so dope. Dope. That was great.
So we eating brisket on the 4th of July. That's a good idea. I should go get a brisket, and I got a smoker.
I was thinking about it.
That's a good idea. We got to make that happen.
Do you have a smoker? And I know you borrowed mine forever. You never used it, but you have a smoker still?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, I got a Traeger now. So yeah.
All right.
So maybe we should wrap up. I know. We got one more thought here too.
Yeah.
From Aether, and then we can wrap up.
I think Thomas even got one too.
Oh, there we go. He does. Perfect. Okay, the NFL did it on purpose, put Miami against us in week 1 because they think it was a fluke last year. We need to prove it again. You never know. Again, ratings is a big thing too, right? And they're doing a good job of hyping that game up. That game's going to be highly watched. Yeah. So, look, man. I mean, again, Tua was picked over Herbert, right? So there's that storyline, and really Tua's got a lot more to prove than Herbert does up to this point. But, I think it'll be a really good one. I think, again, I've always thought Tua was a one-trick pony, right?
Yeah.
Bottom line. He's not that great. He's not going to run because of his concussions.
Yeah.
And I just don't see him really being that guy. But, yeah, I mean, that'll be a fun one to watch. So what do you guys thought on?
I think we'll be at that game, or at least we're planning to be at that game.
No, I'm going to be at that game for sure.
Week 1, baby.
I'm already at that game. You already know I'm already at that game. So
it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
In the blowhole. I love it.
I like
it. Yeah.
And this is a good question here, too. Our team will only go as far as Justin Herbert takes us. How does everyone feel about the depth on the O-line? Actually, I'm pretty hyped. I think this is one of the best lines we've had in a very long time, right? I think our starting 5 are solid. But, dude, hey, man, people are sleeping on McFadden. I think McFadden's really solid.
I was going to say that.
The thing I like about McFadden is that he's played up and down the line, dude.
Yeah.
He has played everywhere. Like over 3,000 snaps at Clemson.
Yeah.
Freaking nuts.
It's a lot.
So that's a lot of flexibility, right? So I think he'll do really well. Anyways, I just think that there's, a lot to be said about that.
And one thing that I watched in watching the games over again, I watched the Niner game, and I was watching Foster Sorrell out there playing, I think it was either right tackle, I believe. He wasn't doing bad at all. And He's been working out with the O-line and everything too in the offseason. So, I mean, you think that he's only going to get better with Duke Manyweather being basically coaching him up and everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's really just this team's O-line, in my opinion, might actually be one of the bigger strengths of this team. Even if you look at Kellen Moore's offenses in the past, I think last year the Cowboys only gave up close to, I think it was 20. And now, once again, I'm going off of my memory. Hopefully it serves me correctly. I think they only gave up about 26 sacks last year, which is really, really high up there. So I think this O-line could be very, very good. Having Slater back is going to be massive for this team. And I think it'll be massive for the run game. I mean, they've already chatted about this left side of this O-line is going to be nasty. It's going to be a nasty O-line. So
seen Zion's arms, dude. That guy's got freaking tree trunks, bro. Those are just gigantic. And one of the things I'll say on this too, right? If you go back and watch Brett, oh my gosh, I'm drawing blank on his name. That video he did on the run in the pass. Coleman, Brett Coleman. The thing that's interesting about the way Kellen Moore runs it, he does a lot of zone runs, and then he doesn't do a ton of gap. Now, gap means you're pulling into the A gap, you're doing whatever, right? Lombardi did a lot of that, right? A lot of things had to go right for that to work, and I just didn't feel like that was really the best thing for our offensive line for the running game. I think that's why we struggled. But a lot of zone reads is good too, because it also takes advantage of, if there's 5 men on the line, the running back can make some choices wherever the gap opens up, easily, right? So I think he's going to simplify the run and the run scheme, which will be easy. And that's one of the things that they talked about a lot about at OTAs, is that they're going to simplify pass blocking and also run blocking for the offensive line. So I do think it'll be simplified. They're not going to make it complicated. I think Lombardi was just a little too complicated, and I think that's why we struggled last year. What are your thoughts there, Kyle?
I mean, there was just a lot. Our defensive line last year was kind of just like obliterated last year, So I think that was that was my biggest concern about everything last year. So like, it's just. But I mean, I realized though that Sebastian Joseph Day had some pretty good sacks. And like Morgan Fox, he had like 6.5 sacks last year. I didn't realize that. So he did great. So, and I'm glad we kept him around. So I don't know. I mean, we got to do something with that defensive line, and so like hopefully we'll make those adjustments, and Derek Ansley will make those solid adjustments towards what we need to do to plug all them holes up.
Plug them
holes up.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I tell you what, I want to see both of those game one, man. I mean, that's what I want to see. Guys, and everyone's sleeping on Darius Davis, man. I don't know. I'm hyped on that guy because, again, the first pick, again, I wanted, oh my God, why am I drawing blank on his name all of a sudden? Zay Flowers. Flowers, because he just was fast. Well, Darius Davis is as fast as Zay Flowers, right? So
Darius Davis was faster.
Is one of the fastest.
So, but my point is, like, we got not only a tall, athletic guy that can jump up and high point the ball, but we got that speedster that I wanted at least. And he's going to help in special teams right out of the gate. At least he's slotted to do that. So, dude, I just think it's going to be so sick. And I'm just so hyped.
It's exciting. I mean, a 50-yard touchdown from Johnston or a Darius Davis, punt return would be dynamic either which way. It would be great to see that. The thing that's great about Davis is that I think it adds a legitimate threat to our special teams that we could take something to the house. DeAndre Carter was good and manageable. He was just okay at that. He wasn't a guy that's a threat. And now we got a guy who's a threat, like a Dante Hall kind of threat kind of guy. The guy that could just take it to the house. Somebody who's just a real fast, small, stout guy that could just go. I was going to say something about Quentin Johnston. There was a video I saw. It was following 3 rookies for the draft class. And I mean, I know the combine basically rated Quentin Johnston at like 4.49 speed for the 40. But his dad was like, he had his own little clicker. And he's like, I don't know, man. I saw it as a 4.38 on my clicker. So maybe I was off. Now, I mean, heck, if he's a 4.38, like, bro, we got a tall receiver that can run a 4.38 and running way faster than we expect. I mean, the guy's got quick feet and quick twitchiness to him. So I'm excited about seeing QJ. I mean, a big difference from the draft day where we're like, oh, we could have had Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense now. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well,
It makes sense.
and again, the Chargers have a type, right? Like in dating, you got a
Yeah.
type. Chargers like tall wide receivers, right? And so another guy we might keep, is Pokey Wilson is undrafted. I think he could have a shot at making the team as well. Probably won't
Oh,
be
yeah.
a day one starter, of course,
Yeah.
but
Practice
you know,
squad or something.
practice
Yeah.
squad guy, it could be good. And by the way, this is a great point, Ricky. Morgan Fox did all that after Tiller was gone, so he only played
Yeah.
really 6, 7 games or
Couple
something
games,
like that.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play a ton, right? So, man. So another thing I will say this too, and I did talk about this on my video on the defense. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch. It's only 13 minutes, but I talk about the 5 things the defense needs to do this next season. But I will say this: I do think there's going to be a rotation, right? They're going to rotate players, and I think that's smart because, look, you want your right players there at the fourth quarter ready to go, right? So I can see a lot of these rookies, maybe Q and Darius, running, a lot in the quarter 1, quarter 2, second half. That's when we start seeing a little more Williams and Allen. They're going to mix people in and out. I can foresee that because we want people to be healthy for this long season. We got so much depth.
Yeah.
If you could just keep people fresh, that's a big thing, right? So that's just my take on that. I mean, I think that's really going to help with the injuries as well too. So, but anyways, kind of my take on that.
Yeah, definitely.
And Horvath also, I do think, will probably use more of as a running back this season as well too. I think he could be that guy. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I didn't see a lot of tight end or not tight end uses, fullback uses on the Cowboys. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he ends up doing with it. So be interesting.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I guess we could wrap up our final thoughts here, and we'll go from there. You're welcome, Ather, for sure. And I don't know, Kyle, what's your thoughts? James, who wants to go first?
Man, we talked about a lot of things. I don't know.
I know, yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of a word salad today.
Yeah, I'll just kind of just wrap up stuff about the jerseys. I guess to be honest, look, there ain't no better jersey in the NFL than the Chargers jersey. Period, though.
Sure.
So
For sure.
I don't think you can actually change perfection any more than you can already.
Yeah.
So, but I think, in my opinion, if we I definitely do not want an all black jersey at all. I hate black jerseys. It's just, I don't know. It's just black just doesn't pop to me at all. It's just get it out of here. But if anything, if we're gonna do, I would really like to see an all navy jersey alternate. So it's just we got the navy helmet, navy, top, navy bottoms. That's my type of blackout if we're gonna do anything or whatever. But my second choice would be a yellow top or something. Maybe not all yellow, but yellow top, white bottom or something. That'd be kind of cool. Just really just kind of make the other team kind of puke a little bit, by seeing all that yellow running around. So, but Original One brought up that good point too. Those if we do the original LA Chargers. Because it's actually a long sleeve type jersey. That would be pretty fire right there. Actually, that'd be really cool to really just throw it back and hit it home that LA is our home and it has been our home. But I don't know. I mean, that's just it. I kind of like the idea of the yellow jersey. There's a lot of different ideas out there about the jerseys. One thing we didn't talk about with the jerseys itself was there was people throwing out the idea of doing a gray alternate jersey instead of instead of the white or whatever like that. It was a gray. That would be pretty hot too. I don't have a picture for that one pulled up, but that'd be cool. So, anyways, that's my thoughts.
Good thoughts. And that would be really awesome to be able to do those 1960s. I mean, I want to see that Shield logo once again on the helmets or on the jersey somewhere or another. I think it'd be really sick. I mean, the original one's got the logo basically on his picture there and everything. But, I guess my last little thoughts are a little bit about football. It's more about, hopefully I don't sound political, but happy 4th of July, guys. Appreciate the country you guys are in. Appreciate the founding fathers of what this country has grown this into. We're not a perfect country by any means, and let's go. Not a perfect country by any means. Every country's got their issues, but by far, the amount of traveling that I've done in the world, we have a phenomenal place here, full of opportunity. And guys, enjoy what this country does provide. So, but happy 4th to everybody, guys. Once again, I'm stoked that it's July. So that means football is about to be back again by the end of this month. I'm excited to be at training camp once again, hanging out with everybody there, watching the Chargers, and enjoying that the season is going to be starting here very shortly. So I cannot wait for it. But Andrew, wrap it up, my friend.
Yeah, man. I just think bottom line, I'm excited. I'm excited for the season, man. And I tell you, literally I've watched all the games, 3 times over now. I mean, not the full games, obviously, the condensed games and all that, but yeah, but bottom line, man, to your point, James, 4th of July is a really good time to just reflect and think about this awesome country and just be thankful for what we have, right? As people, right? It's important that, we respect the country that we live in and that's important, right? So, and it's exciting. It's exciting times. And I love fireworks. I get all nostalgic on it as well, because, bros, this, our dad actually served in the Army, served in Vietnam.
Well, our grandpas too even served.
And our grandpas, 100%, right? So, so it's got a special place in our hearts, right? So that's all I have to say on that as well too. And always bolt up. Love you guys, man. And seriously, you guys are diehards for hopping on, right? This is like the most boring time of ever. But we still want to talk Chargers and we want to, associate with you folks. But please come to training camp as well too, folks, right? Please come to camp. We're going to be there week 1, the whole weekend. We're going to be there times, please be there. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys in person.
It's going to be great. Can't wait. All right, guys. Wrap it up. Let's go.
I'll press the button. I got you.
Both bros.
Let's go.